It is said that the good things come in small packages. So why isn't it possible to make a compact car which can take down not even the larger and the more expensive vehicles on the Indian road today? But you know what? I think I found one. Five years after the last generation Figo came to the Indian market, Ford has finally given us the latest generation Figo. The design is entirely based on the Aspire sedan, minus the boot. So without wasting any time, let's get to the driving. So Ford offers the Figo in three engine variants. The 1.2 petrol, the 1.5 petrol which is specific to the automatic, and the 1.5 diesel. So this is the diesel. Let's see how it is. And thank God it is diesel, because the car's been spinning. And if you keep driving like this and get your shifts right, you will reach the 100 km per hour mark in under 10 seconds. The old Figo weighed 1090 kilos and had a 1.4 litre diesel unit. It only made 68 horsepower. With this new Figo, they have a 50 kilo weight advantage. This one is 50 kilos lighter. They could have might as well given the old engine with it. But no, what they did was they gave a larger engine. They gave a 1.5 litre engine with not 10, not 15, but 30 more horses in it. So just imagine, in a hatchback which is having a 1.5 litre diesel engine, 99 horses, which they haven't detuned, it might be in the making of the fastest diesel hatchback in its segment, or maybe a segment above as well. The performance, be it in any gear, any RPM, is just relentless. And it somehow reminds me of the Chevrolet Cruze, minus the turbo lag, that is. And that is a big compliment for this little hatchback. Overall, the engine feels responsive, right from as low as 1550 RPM, maybe up to 4000 RPM. That is the actual weight of the power band. Though this engine has a red line up to 5000 RPM, which is unique for the diesels. So yeah, the overall weight of the power band is between the 1500 RPM mark to 4000 RPM. And that's where all the torque lies. Well, the last time around, neither of the engines in the old Figo could take advantage of its excellent driving dynamics. But this time around, let's hope the car is able to cope with these new engines. Now we know that this is a powerful car, good on torque levels, excellent on drivability. What about the refinement? For this class, I think the refinement levels are really good. But yes, when you're driving hard, the engine vibrations can be felt through the steering column. Speaking of the gear shift quality, well, I really believe that the VWs and the Skodas get their gearboxes right. That gear shift quality is sublime in their cars. Speaking of the Ford now, well, it is not that bad. Slightly on the rubbery side though, bit notchy. Not perfectly suitable for aggressive driving, not the best for quick shifting, but it is not the worst in the segment. You can live with it. And the power in the engine will make you forget the gear shift quality is not that good. Well, for all this power, we need good stopping power. And let me tell you, the Figo has it. The brakes on this Figo are front disc and the rear are drums. The brakes have really good bite, perfect amount of stopping power, and it comes with ABS and EBD in the higher variants. Though this is the trend here, it doesn't have the ABS and EBD, but still, it does feel really good. Yes, we all know that the old Figo's trump card was its handling, was its steering feel. With this new Figo, that magic is slightly missing here. Partly to be blamed is the steering wheel. Well, the steering wheel feels slightly loose compared to the old Figo, because this is a new electronic power steering unit which is being provided by Ford, and the older one had the hydraulic one. The suspension slightly compensates for the handling. We have the independent suspension right up the front and the torsion beam suspension for the back. The suspension for the Figo really absorbs the bumps pretty well for the Indian road conditions. It is really ideal. It can be adaptable for chucking into the corners also. But speaking of the handling department, there is one major flaw this car has, and we have to highlight right now, and for which I'll have to get out of the car. So yes, the problem is this, the shoes. These are 175/65 R14 spec tires, and they don't even have alloy wheels. Well, though this is a trend, but the higher variants also do not get wider rubber, and with this 100 horsepower engine, it just seems too less. But we have a solution. The solution is simple. We head out straight to our local tire shop to get larger rims of the same PCB and some wider rubber. Right, so here we are. This was a much needed upgrade for this Figo diesel. So what we have done here is we've installed 195 55 R15 spec tires and wheels. This is the exact size what we get in the European spec Ford Figo and the Ford car. Let me tell you this, that this car has transformed now. The steering feel has also enhanced and the grip levels are much more better. Also, those unnecessary wheel spins have decreased a lot, which means the power is being put down in a much more streamlined manner thanks to these wider section tires. Wait a minute, I think we have another problem here. Well, I think I'm being chased by the Polo GT TDI. Well, I may need to downshift a gear or two here. Well, the Polo GT is the only competition to the Ford Figo 1.5 diesel. Though it is a segment above, it seems the Polo GT is trying to pick on the new Figo because the Figo being the new kid on the block. But let me tell you, we aren't going down without a fight here. This was definitely going nowhere, so we had to muscle it out with a drag race. So we found a straight patch of closed service road and I made my brother stand guard at the chosen finish line. Here we go then. Keeping in mind the launch, driver error and luck, we did 2 more runs in which one of them the Polo GT TDI won and in the next Figo got back with another win. So with 2 out of 3 wins, Figo clearly beat the GT TDI in a straight line. Well, how did it beat? Well, we have a fair explanation to it. So as we all saw in the video, the Figo won 2 out of the 3 races against the Polo GT TDI. So what made the Figo win against the current fastest diesel hatchback under 10 lakh rupees? Well, we have the figures here to give you more clarification. Firstly, starting off with the engines. The Figo is having the 1500cc diesel engine, whereas the Polo is having a 1600cc diesel engine. Coming to the power, from the 1.5 litre, the Figo churns out 99 horsepower only against the Polo GT TDI's 104 horsepower. But the twist lies in the weight. The Figo weighs only 1008 kilos, whereas the Polo GT TDI weighs 1156 kilos, which is 148 kilos more than the Figo. Which brings into picture the power to weight ratio, which makes the Figo a clear winner here because it is having a 98 horsepower to the ton power to weight, whereas the Polo manages only 90 horsepower to the ton. So now we know that on paper as well as on the road, in a straight line, the Figo is faster than the Polo GT TDI. Now back to the review. The interiors are unmistakably Ford and identical to the Aspire sedans, but are all black. The music system, which is Bluetooth and USB compatible, sounds good for its segment, but the readout fonts feel obsolete. The mid variants get a smartphone dock. Rest would have loved the addition of an armrest, considering the cruising capabilities of this machine. Plastic quality is mostly good, especially the knobs which feel premium to use. Nowadays, buying cars in India, the scenario is such that the more amount of money you spend on a car, the proportionately less you're getting for your money back. For example, if you want to buy a car which is having 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is a second lower than what this car does, you probably end up spending nearly double, or in some cases more than double, to buy a car which is faster than this. So the new Figo has got the fun quotient which the enthusiast in you deserve. It has a space which your friends deserve, and it is pretty safe, which your family deserves. It is cheap to buy, it is cheap to maintain, it is safe, it is practical, it is fast. Well, it is the fastest diesel hatchback south side of 20 lakhs. I've got mine. What are you waiting for?